Ladies and gentlemen, KocoSports.com proudly presents Wrestle AM. It's half wrestling show, half morning show, pretty much all BS. And of course, you got the Coco crew here holding it down live. You got yours truly, the sexiest man on all of internet wrestling radio. That's right, Boom Boom here, shaking the room live from the RVA, talk about Richmond, Virginia. And of course, joining me there, way across the pond there in Tokyo, Japan, we're talking about none other than the Professor Dave Coco. What is up, Coco? Good to be, I think, doing a Monday Night Raw review.
Yeah. It's a little late. I feel a little weird because Monday Night Raw usually gets our most views. For the record, the reason why this is 24 hours late, it's my fault. I had family obligations. They have a Japanese tradition where you clean the graves and get flowers for all the relatives that passed away. And that just happened to land on Monday Night Raw this year.
So is that why you're being cremated?
How inconsiderate. I'm going to hell. But we're 24 hours late. But the good thing is, 24 hours late, I'm sure our audience didn't go watch another Raw review.
Nah, unless it was Wrestling Rant, then we're cool with that.
No, it's so funny. Sometimes you see like YouTubers act like their audience is like a girlfriend in high school. Be like, don't you dare watch another YouTuber. I'm coming back. I swear. I promise. Don't leave us. All right. So, and by the way, Boo Boo, I have a huge announcement. Dun dun dun. Ba-bow! I started my own Let's Play channel. You thought it was going to be a different huge announcement, didn't you?
Yeah, yes,
Coco Plays. There's a link down in doobly-doo. Did you ever want a fat guy to play RBI baseball and talk over it? Of course you did. That's what the channel's about. All right, let's talk Monday Night Raw. As always, we ask win, loss, or tie. Please, down in the comments, put below win, loss, or tie. Boom Booms! I'll let you go first since you don't get to be on the flagship show that is KocoSports Raw Review.
I thought you were talking about the War Room that's going to be coming up later this week. But I'm going to give it a loss for two reasons. One, I call it the Coco rule now. Any show that ends with a contract signing automatically gets a loss. And even if that contract signing was not at the end, one match does not make a good show. So I've got to give it a loss. There was just a lot of things that were done horribly. There were some things that had potential but were just derailed, and we'll get to that later. And then we just had it was like the good, the bad, and the ugly. I mean, there were some good spots, there was some bad stuff, and then there was just some downright just god-awful things that did not need to make air or that needed to be rewritten before they made air. So solid loss from the Booms here.
All right. There was a lot of awesome in it. There really was. The NXT women invasion. I refuse to call them divas. I'll never call Charlotte a diva because she's a women's wrestler. That part was really interesting, and we'll break it down. They had a couple good matches here and there, but overall, one awesome moment doesn't make a good show. And yeah, I just don't think there was enough. It was just garbage. And a rule is a rule. We need to stop contract signings. I don't care if you like WWE, TNA, ROH, or your local independent. We cannot allow pro wrestling companies to have contract signings.
And if you're gonna have a contract signing, don't even put it at the end. I mean, just have like, okay.
No, Booms. That's how it goes.
Well, look how NXT did it. NXT did it well.
We have to be extremist, Boom Boom. No, listen. Here's the thing. Then how come they could just run up and force heels to be in matches? You know, when Booker T comes out and says, "Oh well, I'm the general manager for a day, and bad guy, you have to face him." Why don't they say, "No, I don't have a contract"? Why the fuck would Seth Rollins sign his contract if it was an option? Why did he? I mean, the UFC, the champions just don't show up. They're like, "Oh, I got a rib injury. Fuck you." Is there any proof of a rib injury? No. I got a little X-ray and got some fucking crayon on it. I ain't fighting that Irish fuck. I mean, just for the love of Christ, why? Why would Seth Rollins sign this? Why? In the kayfabe universe, why would he sign it? What is the point of being under a WWE contract if you have to sign single contracts for an event? No. Fuck you, Ring of Honor. Fuck you, TNA. Fuck you, WWE. And fuck any goddamn booker who dares have a contract signing. It makes no fucking sense. Just try to talk him into the building, which you did not do. Fuck you, and fuck you. We need to be extremists on this. No, my contract signing's better than your contract signing. No. I don't care what fucking company is for, even if it's my beloved New Japan. We are not fucking sticking around. Lucha Underground, I'm looking at you. It doesn't matter the company. We have to end contract signings. It is the most fucking worst thing in the world. And don't believe me? Let's break this down. Opening segment. Let's talk opening segment. Atlanta, by the way, give yourself a Barry Horowitz for being such a hot crowd.
Yeah, love you there, Hot Atlanta GA. But, okay, Dave, the first 20 minutes, okay, if you didn't watch this show and you're like, well, maybe we should just skip the first 20 minutes. I'm not even exaggerating. Literally 20 minutes of it was recap of Brock Lesnar messing up JJ Security's caddy, Seth Rollins running, and then here's what happens. Seth Rollins comes out. Paul Heyman comes out. And by the way, did he mention that he's the advocate for Brock Lesnar? Because I don't think we've covered that enough. And did we also mention that he's the Beast Incarnate? And did we also mention that he's going to be taking on Seth Rollins at Battleground this Sunday? Because I don't think they really covered that enough in the 20 minutes that were out there.
Paul Heyman just said, you know what? This is a good promo. Let's just keep doing it forever. Like some promos live on forever. One promo that lives on forever is Dusty Rhodes' Hard Times. But here's the thing. Dusty Rhodes had the respect of the goddamn business and promo abilities that he didn't cut the same goddamn promo over and over and over. I mean, Dusty Rhodes could have literally had a career off Hard Times. All right, Paul Heyman, I love you, brother. But, dude, there was nothing, absolutely nothing new. And how much... Comment for the internet infantry, and I know we're going to be weaker this week than ever because we didn't go right after Monday Night Raw, and I apologize. But comment for the loyalists, the strongest members of the internet infantry, like Ronald Booth. First off, here's my question for you guys. Does anyone masturbate or even give a shit about the Cadillac? I mean, dude, that is straight up fucking car porn. That is car porn. You have a problem, WWE. Back away from the WWE. I understand. Like, we got a car. We crushed it. Dude, they didn't replay Stone Cold Monster Truck. They didn't replay any of his antics as much as they replayed that. I mean, come on, man. Really. You have a problem. You are sexually addicted to crushing Cadillacs. That is the problem. End of friggin' story. And another thing I want to do about this opening promo. Atlanta, hot as hell. Did you notice? All right. I'm Paul Heyman. Yeah. This is Brock Lesnar. Yeah. This is Seth Rollins. Boo. This is Kane. Boo. Ah, Paul Heyman, Brock Lesnar. Oh, we're happy. Tonight's a contract signing. Cricket. We need to end contract signings. End of fucking story. Go back. Don't believe me? Dear WWE, go back. Go ahead. It's not too late to pipe in your John Cena crowd noise, you sons of bitches. Go back. Listen to the pop Paul Heyman gets. Listen to the pop Brock Lesnar gets. Listen to the heel reaction Seth Rollins gets. Listen to the heel reaction Kane gets. Listen to how you instantly kill that crowd. Instantly kill that crowd with a contract signing. Now listen, I know you're like, hey, there's a fat guy in Japan that absolutely hates contract signings. Let's make sure that he fucking dies a miserable life. But this is your fucking goddamn business. Please end contract signings now. End it now.
Exactly.
Not even once, kids. Not even once.
You know, Coco, and then Seth Rollins comes out, pretty much says, it's like, I'm going to wipe that stupid smirk off your face, that's your symbol, this crushed up caddy. Well, this is my symbol holding up the belt. And they were talking about the contract signing. Kane says, well, there better not be any shenanigans. And I'm like, there could be shenanigans at a contract signing? Shit, you say? I totally expect these contract signings between two professional wrestlers who can't stand each other to go completely smooth and professional. I mean, it's like, contract signings with WWE are the equivalent to fights on the Jerry Springer show. It's like, oh, they're fighting. Yeah. Woo, what a shock. Yeah. And I've made it no secret, I'm not a big fan of Brock Lesnar. But here's the thing. Why do we have to hear the same promo? I mean, it's the same promo every time. Here's Heyman. Yeah, my guy's big. He's tough. He can kick your ass. He's going to take your belt at the pay-per-view. Seth Rollins comes out. Well, I'm smarter and better than you. That's why I've got this title here, and I've got a plan, and I'm going to beat you. I'm going to find some way to beat you. There. You don't need. Okay, you could do that in under 5 minutes. You don't need 20 minutes. I just think it was overkill.
You would have been better off not paying Brock Lesnar to show up. You could have literally – let me put it this way. The whole point of these fucking promos and go-home shows is to talk people into the building or buying the pay-per-view. Before this Monday Night Raw, I was a million times more excited to watch this fucking pay-per-view. Like, what's the opposite of talking them out of the building? Pissing on them? Like you're walking up to – you got your ticket. You're like, I'm going to this pay-per-view. I can't wait. Woo! Talk me into the building. I already got my tickets. I'm already in line. You are literally pissing on me. I'm going home. Instead of a mic drop, it's a ticket drop, and you just walk away. Like, I am a million times less giving a shit about this pay-per-view after this Monday Night Raw. Am I the only one? Did they talk you into the building? To me, they talked me into fucking doing goddamn chores around the house on fucking Sunday night. All right, Booms, let's talk about the next match. I think we fucking mentioned how the opening segments suck.
Yeah, we just run that into the ground. And speaking of running things in the ground, they said, hey, here's our version of the All-Star game. And I'm like, oh, really? What is it? It's Ryback teaming up with Randy Orton. Fuck. To take on Big Show. Shit. And Sheamus. Fuck me. And I'm like, so this is
the worst fucking All-Star game ever.
It is.
Oh, my God. What?
I mean, I really wanted to, okay. So, and I was like, okay, you know what? This is just the first match. Let's let them get it out of the way. It couldn't get any worse. And here's Miz on commentary. Fuck, you're just tempting me to commit seppuku, aren't you, WWE? I mean, just fucking disembowel myself right in front of my fucking TV. Jesus Christ. Okay.
Notice how bad the first hours always are?
Oh, yeah. I mean, dude, yeah. Skip the first hour in infantry. Good God, this was horrible.
Yeah. Fuck it. Just tell them to finish and let's move on. Fucking horrible. There's I'm the best color commentary to build it. But Boom Boom builds it up, and I'm like, it was fucking horrible. Boom Boom, back to you.
Well, okay. I have to pick up the slack here. You had Miz try to go both Ryback and Big Show and to keep fighting each other. Eventually, it ran them out. Big Show wound up clocking Ryback in the face. Sheamus looked like he was about to go in and pick up the scraps. Randy Orton gave him an RKO out of nowhere, I might add. And then Ryback was the legal man, seeing Sheamus down, goes to covers him, gets the pin. It was about roughly a 15-minute match. And it was just, I mean, it was bad. I'm not a huge fan of all four of these guys. And, well, 5 if you count Miz. I'm not excited about their match at the pay-per-view. I do think it was smart, kayfabe-wise, to have the Miz, try to keep, goading Ryback and Sheamus to keep fighting and try to distract them so they get hurt so we have an easier time at the pay-per-view. That makes sense. So I at least will applaud WWE for that. But I'm just not a big fan of these guys, and it just kept droning. This match just kept droning on because it's like nobody could really afford to get beat. I mean, nobody. I mean, the only one I don't think Orton's the only one that doesn't. No, I think Orton's got a match. I think all these guys have a match. You've got to have all these guys look strong, and it's just like, why would you do this? Why would you do this match? I mean, you want to have everybody look strong. You want to think when these guys all meet head to head that both opponents in these particular single matches have an equal chance of winning. You want to have the mystery there, and you want to have everybody look strong. And so why would you put 4 guys who are going to be in a pay-per-view in a tag team match where nobody can afford to take the fall? It just doesn't make sense to me.
It was just pure garbage. Who gives a shit who wins? Let's go to live comments.
Yes, let's go to live comments, please.
Well, anyone, dude, who's not fast forwarding that match? Down in the comments, be like, I'm a brave one who didn't fast forward that match. I mean, that's the match where you check comments. That's the match where you check Twitter. That's the match where you're like, do I have everything set up for work today? Much bad props to Bullet Club Big, says he's the only one in Google Plus, as always. If Bullet Club Bigs, if you don't show up in Google Plus, we have no one in Google Plus. At the _Jan_Brower liked and tweeted us. Much love. At D_Rock73 says it was awesome to see Charlotte on Raw. Yeah, it was definitely the highlight. Boom, boom, boom. Facebook is talking about contract signings, but my contract signing, what? All right. Facebook doesn't watch our podcast. Facebook is always like, hey, Dave, how's the weather in Tokyo? Son of bitches. Rana Booth says, glad I can catch this one live. I give it a win. First time I enjoyed Raw in a while. Wow, Ronald Booth stepping up. All right. Anthony Hunt said, contract signings are about ratings. Really? Dude, tell me they don't get better ratings for contract signings. That's it. That's it. You're getting. I already signed my big contract for the week, but you're going to get a reenactment of it. Boom, boom. If it gets ratings, if that's what pro wrestling fans want, we'll have a contract signing right here, baby. And all that, but my contract came from Stamford, Connecticut. Thanks, Vince. It's not from Vince McMahon. Contract signings are about ratings, but I'd love to see New Japan invade WWE and do a hostile takeover and TNA invade WWE.
Well, hell,
yeah, that means we'd have to be entertained. That means, oh shit! I'm breaking out a one-liner from back in the day. I haven't said this in a while. That would be awesome. WWE is not in the business of being awesome. There you go. I live for the day when New Japan Pro Wrestling DVD proudly presents the rise and fall of WWE. I am waiting for that day. Oh, that would be the greatest thing ever. Tommy Gavato, sorry if I mispronounced. Weak tie. NXT Women and U.S. Triple Threat match was the only good thing on the show. I'm a new subscriber to the show. Welcome to the Internet Infantry. Thank you, sir. I really enjoyed it and appreciate the fact you don't ask your viewers for money. Yeah, that used to be a common thing on YouTube. Like, we're not doing anything special. We're just old school. Keep up the good work. No problem. Thank you. LB Clash of Kings. For people online saying, because NXT Divas debuted on Raw, that they think WWE has #1 women's division in the world. But I got to tell fans, hold your horses. WWE Divas / NXT women's division are improving, but TNA, Knockouts, Women of Shimmer, Shine, and Stardom are light years ahead of WWE in women's wrestling. Yeah. I can agree with that. I don't know. The Knockouts, though, they go up and down. They really go up and down, but they usually are a lot better. And, yeah, Shimmer, Shine, and Stardom. I don't know as much as D-Rocks on Twitter about women's wrestling, but I know I've been to Stardom events, and I don't – unless you – like, I know this sounds crazy. I don't like women's wrestling usually because – calm down, feminist – because I hold them to the same standards as the men. So there's very few women that can actually wrestle. And when I go to Stardom, I'm like, oh, yeah, I enjoy myself. These women can wrestle. When I watch Charlotte, I know I get a lot of heel heat from the superior women's wrestling fans, but I think Charlotte's the Kurt Angle of women's wrestling. I think she caught on fast and is amazing. The very few things I see of Shimmer and Shine I like a lot, and Gail Kim. So, like, yeah, some people get mad because I don't watch women's wrestling. I just, if it's good, I'll watch it. You know, I hold them to the same standards as a man. And, of course, that makes me an asshole. But Yeah, there's a lot of great women's wrestling out there, and besides a couple of the NXT girls, WWE's women's division really not that good. Not that good. All right, Booms. Let's go back to breaking it down.
All right, next they said we're gonna revive one of our greatest rivalries, and I'm like, oh, what is that? Dean Ambrose versus Bray Wyatt, and I'm ready to soak myself in fucking gasoline.
What'd you say?
I was inspired by Lucha Underground because it was like we're gonna see Dean Ambrose take on Bray Wyatt, and I was just like, well, and then I started, trying to get the lighter going because I figured this is going to be less painful than we'll have to watch this rivalry again. But Dean Ambrose already out there in the ring. Out comes Bray Wyatt, and then, oh my God, a character actually did something that made sense, Dave. I know. Hold the phone here. Roman Reigns comes out in like regular street clothes and just beats the shit out of Bray Wyatt. And I was like, yes, that is good. That makes sense. I mean, it's one thing to have a feud with somebody professionally, but when you start fucking with somebody's family, you're entitled to an ass whooping. And Reigns, to his credit, delivered an ass whooping to Bray Wyatt. I mean, he gave it to him. And then Wyatt, trying to fight him off, eventually smacks Roman Reigns with his lantern. This gives him enough space to get away. Then the segment ends. Apparently, they just threw the match out. They didn't have it, so no match. I kind of hate that they did this to Dean Ambrose's expense, considering he's just a really hot commodity, a great wrestler. But I was like, I was glad that WWE did this. I mean, to me, this made Roman Reigns a more sympathetic character because he reacted the way anybody would. I mean, I don't have kids, but Dave, you got kids. If somebody was using your kids, not hurting them, but using them as a ploy to get to you, I'm pretty sure you'd whoop their ass. It'd be like, fuck the cops, fuck all, I'm just going to go whoop your ass. And that, to me, made him more human, and he didn't come down out of the crowd. He didn't wear his, the flak jacket. No, he was just wearing his T-shirt, went out there and just beat the crap out of him. And I was like, all right, there we go. And now I kind of want to see this match at the pay-per-view. So I will say good job to WWE for at least pulling this off.
I enjoyed it just because I didn't have to watch poor Dean Ambrose fucking fight Bray Wyatt again. First off, Boom Boom, punish yourself. Punish yourself. You did not say Wrestling Ranted proudly presents. Wrestling Ranted has naming rights on Bray Wyatt, okay?
Okay.
There's a YouTuber out there that's part of our family, Wrestling Ranted, and he has naming rights on Bray Wyatt, and I want to apologize to Wrestling Ranted proudly presents this Bray Wyatt segment. Please check it out. Also, check out our friends at Geek Essentials. All right, listen, Booms. Yeah, I'm happy for Bray Wyatt and Roman. Yeah, it moves the storyline along. It's pretty good. It's unlike Brock Lesnar's segment, it added interest to this feud. It added interest to the pay-per-view. But let's just look at poor Dean Ambrose. Let's look. This is why, and this is why WWE does John Cena no favors. Dean Ambrose is the reason people can't let the hate of John Cena go. Because what does every WWE defender, what does every WWE employee, what does every WWE guy say about John Cena? Well, he sells the most merchandise. Now, Conan on MLW and plenty of others have proved that the game is rigged. But who sold the most merchandise this Christmas season? Oh, you don't know. You know why you don't know? Because they didn't make any fucking announcement. If it was John Cena, there would be a graphic. Dean Ambrose sold the most merchandise over Christmas season. And how was he rewarded, Boom Boom? How was he rewarded?
He lost every feud he was in.
And now he most likely doesn't have a match for the pay-per-view. So, if you're a John Cena defender, hey, more power to you. Hey, it's an uphill battle fucking defending that fucker. But WWE is doing him no favors. No favors whatsoever. It's so funny because every time someone is successful, WWE is there to chop them down. And it doesn't matter. All that matters is being chosen. Can you imagine if Roman Reigns sold the most gear during Christmas? You know how much Roman Reigns matches we would have? Can you imagine if John Cena sold the most merchandise over Christmas?
Oh, we would know about that.
Yeah. Bullet Club Big says, "What's up, peeps? I'm going back from this into Major League Baseball All-Star Game. Son of a bitch, we got to go one-on-one with the All-Star Game. Go Rays. I hope Archer gets a lot of strikeouts. I thought Raw was good. Bullet Club Bigs, if you're watching both, do me a favor. I'm not watching the All-Star Game. Give me any highlights of the Rays. I don't care about anything else but the Rays." D-Rocks on Twitter, at D_Rocks with 3 X's, 73. Says, "I heard a rumor that the Dollhouse is coming to Shimmer in October." That sounds sweet. And Blood
I
on
think
the
that
Mat on
could
Twitter.
be true because I think Taryn Terrell is done with TNA.
Fucking man, it's hard to root for TNA. We need American Alucard to put a positive spin on it. American Alucard is the king of putting a positive spin. Well, you see, we were shot in the leg, but we have 2 legs. At Blood on the Mat, he retweeted us. So much love. Show him some love on Twitter. Boop, boop, boop. Facebook, you know what? I'm going to stop checking Facebook because Facebook, you were asking me about everything but my podcast. And I'd like to know my 4,579 closest Facebook friends and the 2,000 fucking schmucks that are following me. I never understood following someone on Facebook. Is that like, I don't want to be your friend, but I want to check in on you. Anyway, I shouldn't make fun of them because any audience is a great audience. But Facebook, you know what? No. 0 questions. We have 4 comments, 0 questions about Monday Night Raw. That tells me my beloved Facebook people are not watching my podcast, and that breaks my heart. I thought I had legit 5,000 close friends. I was wrong. But YouTube, here we go. Shit, boom, boom. I blame this one on you. We're 6-1. That 1 thumbs down is on you, boom, boom. That's on you. All right.
That'd be a good MMA
Adding
record.
Chaos of Pain 244 says, "Finally, next NXT Divas see story that others watch Blade and Triple H triple threat interest in U.S. title. Pretty good for John Cena." I'm going to say that is definitely a smartphone. That's a smartphone comment right there. Because nothing is misspelled, but it definitely... Autocorrect gets the best of you, Eddie. LB Clash of Kings. I would give Divas a segment win, but the whole show overall gets a loss or tie. Anthony Hutt says, "What is the plan with Reigns? Also, you think we'll ever see AJ Styles versus Seth Rollins?" I think so. Maybe one day. You know, it seems like WWE is actually hiring wrestlers right now, and that's a generation I can't wait. Old school Hook and Shoot. Welcome back, Hook and Shoot. We missed you so much. Didn't catch Raw last night, but I did see that the latest New Japan event. Why is the tag team division suffering so much there? I mean, they put the Cruiserweight tag titles on the first, and the tag match they had was mediocre. I know Anderson and Gallows can be good, so why weren't they?
Is he talking about Dominion?
Decided, you know what? You know how like a lot of people a couple years ago thought he was going to win the G1. A lot of people thought he was going to be the next foreign IWGP champion. These were the things people were talking about. Well, but none of that happened. It just didn't pan out. You know, Devitt was chosen, then AJ Styles, and now he's kind of just an asshole holding the bag. So what he decided to do to get revenge was have the worst storyline, and I stick by this, the worst storyline in New Japan history. I don't know, just they put a lot of faith in Roppongi Vice, and they kind of bombed. So right now it's the Young Bucks have a title until they can rebuild it, because I don't think Red Bucks or Red Dragon or fucking what the fuck it was. The Young Bucks are amazing, but Red Dragon doesn't seem to be clicking with the New Japan audience, and Roppongi Vice doesn't seem to be clicking. So that's what's wrong with that division. The regular tag team division, it was just ruined by the worst fucking storyline ever in New Japan. Poor Anderson. He's lost his shit. Like, if I see Machine Gun Anderson, I'm just going to give him a hug. There's a time we thought you were going to win the G1. Dude, how pissed off would you, like, I remember a couple years ago, like, man, Anderson's going to win the G1. This is going to be amazing. A couple years later, if Anderson, I don't even know if he's in the G1. I don't have the G1 memorized yet. But if Anderson is, imagine if Anderson wins the G1. How excited we would have been a couple years ago compared to right now. If she got Anderson wins the G1, dude, I'm like, I'm fucking pooping in my hand and throwing it on the fucking stage. I'm just going, there you go. Fuck you, Anderson. Hook and Shoot says, are Rowan and Harper still together? Well, we don't know because they're not on television.
Yeah, they are. I believe Eric Rowan's hurt.
Oh, okay. I had a conspiracy theory, Boom Boom. You had to ruin it with facts. I think they got legally married. You know, in America, you can now marry. Think about it. I didn't know the one was hurt. I don't know. What? They're just not on television, according to Boom Boom. According to Boom Boom sources, one of them is hurt. According to Dave, just fucking saying stupid shit, they got gay married. So take it for what you will. Now, as far as my sources, I just made it up because I thought it was funny. No actual real sources. Sadly, that's probably 90% of internet reports these days.
Well, nah.
I think it's better that they're together as a team again. I agree. And I think they should be with Bray Wyatt. Just reboot the Wyatt family. I'm sorry. Wrestling Ranted proudly presents the Wyatt family. I think they should go to New Japan and wrestle as the Blackjacks. That wouldn't be too bad. What you gonna do, brother? Huge win because of the contract signing. Why do you hurt me so much, Hulk Hogan? Mustache with multiple Hulk Hogans inside it. Why do you hurt me so much? Boom, boom. We'll go to live comments a little bit later. Rock me some fucking recap action.
Next, we go to what's being referred to as the Divas Reset. And everybody, if you're standing up, I don't know why you are, but if you're standing up, I need you to sit down and I need you to grab onto something. Dave, I need you to brace yourself. I did not like this segment. Now, wait a minute, I just know everybody's heard. I just heard this huge collective gasp over the internet because, you know, I'm awesome like that. I didn't like it, but let me explain why. This was just completely torpedoed by Stephanie McMahon. This was absolutely horrible. Now, I kind of like the setup for it. You had Team Bella in the ring, and then, you know, of course, you know, Nikki's bragging because she's beaten everybody, and she has. She's beaten everybody. She's, you know, the Divas champion, holding up the championship. And then Stephanie McMahon comes out, and I'm like, okay, why is she coming out? And then she starts, she comes out with this Stephanie, I'm a McMahon, God damn it, McMahon. It apparently takes exception to this. Is like, oh, you're acting like you own this division, like you own the WWE. And I'm like, wait a minute.
That's a bit of a jump. That's a bit of a jump there, Stephanie. But go on.
And I was like, wait a minute. Last time I checked, you know, when the storyline left off with you before you went on whatever the fuck it is you do, you had Nikki's back completely. Remember, she backed you against her sister, and you made her the champion. And now she's sadly approaching AJ Lee's record. She's going to try to break that. And from what I understand, yes. And people are like, oh, but you know she's wrestling with partially separated shoulder. Yes, I know that. Let's just keep moving here.
Do you know she's only there because she's a twin and sucks dick?
No, really. Go on.
No, that's it.
All right. So then I'm like, okay, this makes no sense. And this is the other thing that frustrates me about, you know, the Divas division. There is no consistency to the storyline. I mean, if you go back and watch SmackDown, listen to my SmackDown reviews. I mean, the Bellas wrestle, or Team Bella wrestles as faces or heels depending on the week. I mean, it just makes no sense. And then they have heel on heel action. Well, anyway, you know, and then Stephanie tries to pretend she's a fucking feminist by talking about, oh, well, you know, the level of competition is not right. It's not, you know, where it needs to be in WWE. I mean, there's a revolution happening. You know, it's soccer, talking about the U.S. women's team, the UFC, you know, tennis. And I'm like, okay, so why is it taking your ass so long? But anyway, I digress.
Well, but like, all right, women's soccer, I understand. It's kind of hip. It's kind of cool. All right, Ronda Rousey, I understand, because she's like legit fucking breaking barriers. But tennis?
Well,
Women's
the
tennis
Williams
is like
sisters.
1960. I know fucking one of the seven Williams sisters just won a plate of dinner or whatever the fuck happens in tennis. But hear me out. Women's tennis has been a thing since like fucking women. Like, you know, God, well, if you're religious, Terry Funk came down and said, "Hey, Adam, give me your fucking rib." You're like, bam, that's a motherfucking diva. You stick stuff in her. You're like, really? Wonderful. And first thing the diva did is Eve said, you know what? I can make a tennis racket out of this snake. And now we have Satan. I'm pretty sure. I went to school every Sunday, and that's exactly how it went down. But I'm saying the first diva ever played tennis. What a fucking weird fucking just what's trending on Twitter type fucking promo.
Yeah, I know. So then then this is where it gets really fucked up. She asked Paige to come out there. So
nothing like taking away someone's heat. How much did Paige look like a beaten goddamn puppy?
This is where I hate this because Stephanie hogs the entire spotlight and just shits on the entire division right here, saying, well, the level of competition's not good. And it's just like, you just said right there that your own Divas division sucks, and the only reason Nikki's the champion is because everybody else sucks. Okay. So now we're going to bring out...
Hold on. In Stephanie's defense, she's telling the truth.
Well, yeah, she is telling the truth, but you don't want to say that. It'd be like me saying, well, this show sucks.
Well, I mean, we got to be honest. We're not the best, I assure you.
We're not the fucking worst either. But anyway, so that's when
we're like, and here comes Solomon and Solomon Monster, and they bring in a whole bunch of great podcasters. Here's Rome. There, now these motherfuckers, they're gonna have a good podcast.
So they bring out Paige, and then Stephanie, for whatever reason, starts backing Paige. She was like, she's the one person trying to stand up. She wants to start this revolution, but she can't do it by herself. And I'm like, you just shit on Paige. You just said she's weak. And she starts acting like a mom now. Now I'm going to bring her some help. And I'll admit, I was shocked by the first one. Is by, we're going to have someone, who wants to back her up, who's willing to stand by her side. I'm going to bring out, Becky Lynch. And I'm like, okay, I wasn't expecting Becky, but fucking hey, I love Becky. Yeah, Becky's good. Oh, and that's not all. We're going to talk about someone who was born and bred for this. Someone who's high style and in profile starts doing, okay, first of all, Stephanie, never do the Ric Flair strut again, ever. No, you're banned. I'm making it a law. It's a man law now. Boom, you're banned from doing the Ric Flair strut. It was
hold on. Before we get to the fucking Kurt Angle of the women's division, but hold on, pump your brakes.
I pump my brakes. Fucking talk.
Do you think? Because I'm laughing at my own jokes. I'm an unprofessional podcaster.
It would help if you would tell them first.
Do you think Dixie Carter just watches Monday Night Raw and just goes, "I'm not that bad, right, guys"? I mean, holy shit. Stephanie McMahon, you were so horrible at this segment that I was like, man, I can't wait to watch the next Dixie Carter segment. Go on, sir.
Okay, so now they bring out Charlotte. Okay, awesome. Charlotte, love Charlotte. Charlotte's amazing. Charlotte's awesome. Great. She comes out and does her thing. The crowd's popping. It's great. They know who she is. I'm like, all right. I've kind of got some of my faith in humanity restored because they know who Charlotte is. Great. Okay, now here's where it gets interesting. You have Naomi and Tamina come out because they're kind of like, hey, what the fuck? You're bringing in all this competition. I haven't gotten my shot here. Why you you haven't even consulted me? And Stephanie's like, you know what? I'm glad you're out here. And I'm like, could this get
first off, let's compare. Let's go talk to the Atlanta audience. Every time an NXT girl comes out, they go absolutely crazy. As soon as fucking like Abella showed up, they were like fucking Charlotte, NXT. They were just fucking letting them have it. And then like they're about to do another introduction, and here comes Snuka and fucking I don't know. Here comes the cast of Total Divas, and the crowd is completely dead. Like.
So then, because apparently now you've got Team Bella, You've got Paige now apparently allied up with Becky Lynch and Charlotte because it looks like they're on a fucking play date now. Now you have Naomi and Tamina come down, and then it's like Stephanie's like, "Oh, don't worry, I've got a playmate for you too. There's someone else who thinks she's awesome. In fact, she calls herself the boss." And to bring out Sasha Banks, and Sasha, remember Naomi's pissed off because they just brought all these girls in from NXT, without no consultation. They're basically, Stephanie's just shit on the whole Davis division, saying that they suck. And now they bring out Sasha Banks, and they're like, "Hi, I guess we're friends now. We're gonna we're gonna form a faction now," and they're completely on board with it. They literally just go stand next to each other. So you've got three. This is fucking ridiculous.
This reminds me growing up in New Jersey. We were. I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. People from New Jersey are assholes. I don't know if you knew that. And sometimes we would just pick on motherfuckers. I don't know. I would say bullying, but not really. We were just assholes. Bullying, because, we had honor about it. We didn't not like fucking today's generation where you'd have like 900 fucking dudes fight one guy. What a bunch of fucking pussies. But we'd always have like one-on-one fights. But there'd be a guy who's like, "All right, let's go fucking fight him for no fucking reason." And then, we'll just pick a name out of the fucking hat, like Little Jimmy. Little fucking Jimmy would be like, "What? Why you want to fight me?" Be like, "It's a fucking Tuesday, Jimmy. It's going down. I didn't like the way you looked at me." So we were a bunch of fucking assholes, and Jimmy would run home, and then Jimmy's mom would come out and be like, "Listen, you and Jimmy are friends. You shouldn't fight." That's what fucking Stephanie McMahon was. Stephanie McMahon was Little Jimmy's mom, and be like, "Listen, you guys shouldn't fight. You should be a team. You guys would be a great team." It's just so goddamn horrible.
Okay.
Listen.
No. Here's what happens next. This looked like when all three groups of three were standing in the ring with Stephanie. It looked like something. It reminded me of my college days. It reminded me like sorority girls, because every homecoming, just different events like Rush. They would always do these fucking skits. I mean, always do. And they were horrible, but you had to sit through this shit anyway. So it looked like a fuck bunch of sorority girls put together this script, because then you have Team Bella come up towards Team, I guess they're called Team Bad, BAD or whatever. That's, I guess Sasha's new faction or whatever the fuck you want to call it. They go, and then meanwhile you see the good girls, come flank around the Bellas, and then it's on. And then it just turns into this huge clusterfuck. They're pairing off. They're beating the shit out of each other. They're drop kicking. And then finally, the crescendo hits when you have Charlotte. Oh, by the way, fuck you to Byron Saxton for fucking up this call here. Charlotte locks the figure four part, and I'm getting into this, onto Alicia Fox. And then they're like, "Oh, the figure four. And I'm like, "No, it's the figure eight, because it's twice as good as her daddy's." And I'm like, "Okay, there's Byron Saxton right there. You need to fucking call that. You need to correct that. You're on NXT. You're a commentator for NXT. You've called Charlotte's matches. Doesn't say a fucking word." And they're like, "Oh, it's the figure four." And this wouldn't have been so bad, but they come back after the commercial break. "Oh, we want to make a correction. Charlotte's finishing maneuver is actually called the figure eight." And they go, and I'm like, "Dude, you fucking blew it." And it's fuck you, this Byron Sexton, for blowing that call. You're on the goddamn show. You've commentated it. Pay your fucking attention. Anyway.
And for those that will go on Reddit, they leaked out a script again, or rules for announcers. And one of them is like, "Know your wrestlers, know the history." And I'm just like, they don't follow their own fucking rules.
JBL, I can understand maybe not knowing. Michael Cole, to an extent, I can understand not knowing. But Byron Saxton is like the one guy out of that entire three I figured would fucking know something. Anyway, so then you have Becky Lynch got that Fujiwara armbar. Then you had Sasha Banks at the bank, that back cracker into the bank statement. Nobody's fucking selling anything. Nobody in Team Bella is selling shit. They're just like, "Oh,
they don't know how. They legit don't know how."
They act like they were fucking inconvenienced by this. And then finally, I think it was Alicia Fox, at least had the goddamn common sense to tap the mat repeatedly with her hand. And then when she did that, the other Bellas are like, oh, I guess maybe we should try to act like we're in pain here because technically we're being our joints are being hyperextended. So then they start pounding the mat. Yay! And then this was just horrible. I mean, Dave, me and you could have booked, hell, I could have booked this better. And just, they were trying to reboot the Divas division, but it just completely went into chaos. You had Stephanie McMahon try to hog the spotlight. You had alliances that didn't make sense. You had, and plus, you made everybody look bad. You made the whole Divas division look bad. But this is feminism. This is hashtag give Divas a chance.
There's so much to talk about. First off, this was the worst fucking book segment in a really long time. We had a lot of fun with it. But at the end of the day, it's still, you're getting a pizza at the end of the day. You're still getting Charlotte in WWE. Stephanie McMahon had to steal Paige's thunder. Stephanie McMahon had to be the center of attention. But at the end of the day, Charlotte, Becky Lynch, Sasha Banks, all of them are in WWE. And it's a new generation. And the new generation is, I find this to be interesting. Because, can I talk to Stephanie the feminist?
Oh, please.
Stephanie the feminist. Stephanie the feminist, here's the thing. You have a lot of responsibility. And one is, you as a feminist have to have the Bellas lose. If the Bellas win, all this is for nothing. You don't call yourself a feminist because you have a woman that busted her ass and broke a record even though you didn't like her. And now you're going to have a woman who sucked a dick to get to the fucking top? Literally. No. There's no fucking, maybe you should fucking worry. Lawyer. I would look, just send me to fucking WWE, send me to court. Well, let's fucking make that shit public. The fucking third thing is now you have women's wrestlers, legit women's wrestlers. And if you want to be a feminist, the wrestlers have to beat the horse. That's it. The wrestlers have to beat the horse. Now, if you want to bang your drum and say you're a feminist, by the way, what did your dad think of Asian people? Every fucking time she mentioned how it's a women's movement, I kept adding, except Asians. It's time for women's wrestlers, except Asians, except Asians, except Asians. Yeah. I honestly think, Stephanie McMahon, you're not a feminist. But if you want to join and be one, the Bellas have to lose. And it's really about, are you going to do the right thing? Or are you going to be a whore? Are you a strong, independent woman that was handed everything? Let that sink in, because that's what the fuck you're pretending to be. You're a strong, independent woman that was handed everything, and you could be a feminist leader and prove that, no, look, women can wrestle. It doesn't matter about their looks, even if they are Asian. You should talk to your dad about that one. And the second thing is, or are you just a fucking fake, fucking phony-ass whore who's handed everything that wants to pretend to be fucking cool because it's trending on Twitter? We'll find out when Bellas break fucking AJ Lee's record. We'll find out when the Bellas beat Charlotte. This is not a fucking wrestling angle. This is Stephanie McMahon looking in the mirror and saying, am I really a good person or am I a whore that was handed everything? Only you can decide that, Stephanie. I can't wait to see what type of person you are in the next coming weeks. Love, fat guy who just wants to see good women's wrestling. Women's wrestlers over whores. And it's not women's wrestlers versus divas. What's the difference between a diva and a whore? I don't understand. Booms. If I first time I ever met you and your wife came by, I'm like, oh, she's a diva. Wouldn't that be an insult? Wouldn't you be like, hey, you step outside, bitch?
That could be like, oh.
Let's say we just met at a pro wrestling bar, right? You show up in Tokyo, Japan. I sit next to you. We don't know each other. And I say, hey, superstar, I see you got a diva over there. You automatically assume that guy's an asshole and you want to fight.
Yep.
It's women's wrestlers versus whores for Stephanie McMahon's soul. Can't book anything better than real life. Because obviously you can't book fucking kayfabe to save your goddamn life.
And here's another thing. Like, if I was going to book this, using all the elements that they had here, I would have had, Nikki do the same promo. I'm going to try to move on here because I know we've got to try to get this show knocked out, but let me just leave it at this. I would have had Nikki Bella do everything. Team Bella in there, brag about it, but then have Paige come out, and say, I'm going to beat you, I'm going to start this revolution, whatever. And then just have, go, oh, we're really, you've tried what, 3 times already? You couldn't get the job done, and now there's 3 of us, there's 1 of you. Oh, we're going to destroy. She's like, well, no, I think I've got a little help. I'm going to even the odds. And then, boom, you bring out Becky Lynch. And then it's like, they go in there, they start cleaning house out, and they go out of the ring. And when they're out of the ring, they go, well, you know what? Yeah, you got lucky this time, but last time I checked, maybe your math's not so good. There's 3 of us and only 2 of you, and we're going to go in there and we're going to collect. So these 3 girls, Team Bella is going to go back in to attack Paige and Becky Lynch. And then just as they get on the apron, you cue Charlotte's music, and then they go in there. It's 3-on-3. And then later you see that, Sasha Banks is backstage. She's pissed off because she's the NXT Women's Champion, and she's being left out. How dare you, these girls, I'm better than all these girls. I've beaten all of them. And how dare they get on Raw before I do? How dare they get, on there? And then, kind of have Naomi sympathize with her. And then, boom, there's that little faction formed right there. So, boom, there's all 3 right there. Everything makes sense. That's how I would have done it.
I don't think it's even a challenge to book something better. I think it's more of a challenge to book something worse. I don't think it's a challenge to book something better. Let me put it this way. If Charlotte was locked outside the stadium like Bobby the Brain Heenan and said, I got to get in there tonight, there's nothing. You can't fucking book a worse segment. You can't. Good luck trying. All right, Booms. We'll go to some live comments for the last time, and then we'll wrap up the last time until the end of the show. And then we'll hit live comments after the review because we got to speed up the review a little bit. But I thought that was the most important segment of the night. Bullet Club Big says, I thought Red Dragon would have been a good fit in New Japan. I'll be damned. I don't know. There's something about Red Dragon. This is just my opinion. They're awesome fucking wrestlers, but they're not awesome enough to be as boring as they are. I always see them as oh, you are American Wolf's wannabes, and that's it. And I know it's going to give me a lot of heel heat, but Young Bucks, Roppongi Vice, they have a little bit of comment, all that. So I don't know. I know Red Dragon is supposed to, and I know they're amazing wrestlers. Just they bring nothing to the table besides in-ring talent. And it's weird because they're amazing wrestlers, but I think being attached to the Wolves, that's all you think. You're like, oh, there's Red Dragon. You're not the Wolves. I don't know. Maybe it's not fair, but I don't know. They're great wrestlers. There's just something missing. And normally I'm not that guy. Normally I'm like, there is no it factor, but no, I guess there is. Bullet Club Big says, at first I didn't get that hype about Paige, but now she's starting to look good to me. Charlotte is cool and all, but she looks too much like her pops in the face for me. I don't know. I think she's a beautiful woman, but I don't know. My standards of beautiful women are a lot different than everyone else's. I'm not surprised about Vinnie Mac not wanting to hire Gail Kim because she's an Asian broad. A lovely Asian broad. All right. Yeah, I just can't believe that someone that racist is still, accepting awards and PG and all that. It's just, I don't know. It just bothers me. At D_Rock73, how awesome would it be if WWE signed Cheerleader Melissa? It would be tremendously awesome. Hopefully they do it. And you know what? It seems like they're going in the right direction towards wrestling. CM Punk did an interview this week with I find it's funny, everything you made fun of, now that's what you're recruiting for, as far as he goes. WWE made fun of CM Punk for being a wrestler and being small. And now they're like, we need wrestlers that are small. Not really small, but you know what I mean? Great wrestlers. So who knows? Maybe CM Punk and Triple H and dominoes fall into place, and we could have a generation of good wrestling. I like to dream. I like to dream at night. All right. Let's see. Our homeboys at Geek Essentials, definitely check them out. I got to talk to Geek Essentials because I just started Coco Plays, baby. Go like, comment, subscribe. Raw was a tie, so check out Geek Essentials. They always help out the channel. Anti-Trolltron 9000. Hey, Coco, keep up the good work. And I'm wondering, did you notice Fuckboy Cena's stupid-ass smirks the whole time he was on it? Pisses me off to no end. Yeah, we'll get to fucking John Cena, but I don't know. It's just, I don't know. We'll get to John Cena. We did a video as is John Cena good? And the results so far in the comment section is no, he's not. LB Clash of King. Who should break Ric Flair's record that you think the fans will respect more? These are the only three people that are closest. Sting, John Cena, Kurt Angle. I don't think any of them should, because when Ric Flair had the titles, he was the top guy. Sting is way too old. Let's just no. I mean, John Cena is going to break it just because they give that motherfucker everything. But I don't even know if Kurt Angle's worthy anymore. I don't know. Kurt Angle on that list is the most worthy, but I don't know if anyone of those guys should be breaking the record. I don't know. I just think Ric Flair is at a whole nother level. Kurt Angle was, but he's not the same man he used to be. So I'm going to say Kurt Angle, but I don't know. Do you think who do you say? Sting, John Cena, Kurt Angle, or no one?
Well, if I had a choice, none of those. I would have Ric Flair's, I'd have his reign stand. But of those three, I would say Kurt Angle.
All right. Mr. Jason 916. Welcome, Mr. Batman. Win. Raw. All right. Batman's a man of few words. LB Clash of Kings. I think me and Coco agree. We both hate contract signings on any company. Somebody called paramedics. I almost passed out watching another contract signing. LOL. No, it's for the ratings. We'll have a contract signing right here. LB Clash of Kings. No, I hate contract signings. They're so fucking stupid. I didn't like the Diva segment either. Bella's poor acting. Yeah, they get showed.
They were acting?
Especially Brie. And I didn't like how Sasha... I feel bad for Brie because they put her in segments that are like legit her life. They're like, your husband, I don't know if he'll ever wrestle again. And she's like, yeah, it's sad. I said, I didn't like how Sasha Banks didn't come out with her title. Also, I don't like how Stephanie only cares about the Divas when she's involved in a storyline that she tries to punk out the whole Divas division.
Ding, 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 ding. We have a winner.
And try to make the whole division her bitches. Did anybody notice that about Stephanie too? I think Stephanie's full of shit sometimes. You know what? I don't even think Stephanie's full of shit. That's just not fair. I think Stephanie is shit. Like, to be full of shit, that means you have to like have a bucket or a bag that consists of your body. I just think she's just pure shit. And she's just like, please love me, people. I like girls too. I have a vagina made of shit. Look at me. Please love me. Please, Tumblr, come to my aid. And that story, the shit is melting. Danny Allmark, this will be our last comment until we're done the review because we have to we got to rock the review. Win for me, good show. Did work out for Sasha Banks and the other NXT divas. Hope WWE uses them well. Well, hopefully they improve from day one. But who knows? Maybe Stephanie McMahon on the side. Like, if Charlotte, Sasha Banks, and Becky Lynch dominate the division and Stephanie is their mouthpiece, I think that's just tax for good women's wrestling. Like, I'm going to regret this. Remember this. Write this moment down. But if the women's wrestling is good and Stephanie McMahon has to hog up spotlight to make women's wrestling good, that's a tax I'm willing to pay. Booms, write that down. I think I'm going to regret that statement in a couple months. All right. Thank you, Daniel Mark. When we get back, when we get back to comments, we'll try to get as many as we can. But I have to do real life stuff. Real life stuff's really ruining my YouTube channel. Damn you, real life. All right, Booms. Let's rock out this review.
All right, Dave. Now, believe it or not, we're only on the second match of the night, the second official match of the night. We're already in the second hour, and we're just now getting to the second match. It was a six-man tag. It was the New Day taking on the Primetime Players and Mark Henry. Basically, New Day took the early lead. We're beating up on Titus O'Neil. Titus O'Neil made the tag to Mark Henry. He cleaned house, hit Xavier Woods with the World's Strongest Slam, and then got the 1-2-3. So a big win for the Primetime Players as they get ready to go into Battleground. The PTP, along with Mark Henry, did the Millions of Dollars dance in the segment.
I love the New Day and the Primetime Players, and Mark Henry is my dream booking scenario. I'd love to book Mark Henry to hide his weaknesses, to show great. I enjoyed this match a lot. It was a bit short, but I enjoyed it a lot. And all that, but WWE has something with the tag team division right now with the Primetime Players and the New Day, where I feel like both teams should be champions. And that is a good feeling to have, booking-wise. Usually, in the tag team division, there's one team that is the champions, like the Usos, and then everyone else is like, oh, you don't deserve to be champion. Just get the fucking titles on the Usos. But right now, I as a fan, I believe the New Day and the Primetime Players should both be champions. And maybe since the 80s, WWE hasn't had that. I mean, I enjoy – this is probably the feud and the match I enjoy the most, and it's one of those I hope both teams win. I think both teams deserve to win, and hopefully they can build a great tag team division around it. Because even though I grew up a WCW fan, I really did respect WWF tag team wrestling. And on Twitter, my Twitter and social media exploded because it was 6 black guys in the ring at one time, and that is when you realize you are part of a racist company. When people on social media are like, oh, there's 6 black guys in the ring, that's when you're like, no one mentions that. Like, that's when you know you have a racist problem. Because if you go to a basketball game and there's 5 black stars, you're like, oh, okay. Oh, yeah, you don't mention it. In baseball, basketball, football, you don't really mention it. You don't. It doesn't come up in social media. It doesn't, it'd feel weird. Like if me and you went, like right now, here's an example. I'm a huge Rays fan. I have no idea how many black players they have. It never came to my mind. And if me and Boom Boom sat at Tropicana Field watching the Tampa Bay Rays, I don't think once we'd be like, wow, there's a lot of black players. Oh, there's not a lot of black players because there isn't a problem of race there. The NFL had something a couple years ago about, black quarterbacks and black owners. And, I think when there's not a conversation about it, that's when there's really not that much racism left in the world. But the fact that you go on social media and people are exploding, making a big deal about it, well, Vince, you have a problem. You have a problem. You need to pump your fucking brakes and figure it out. But yeah, to me, it's just, it wasn't that, it ain't that big a deal. But at the same time, the fact that it is a big deal, that means there might be a problem. I mean, let's just, all right, Booms, you are a huge fan. You are a huge fan of, what's the college football team you like, the small one?
Oh, Troy.
Troy. You're a huge fan of Troy. And I don't know if Troy has a racist problem, but this is how you know. How many black players does Troy have?
I have no idea.
I think that's the way it should be. But, in WWE, you're like, nope, I know who the one Asian is. I know who the 2 Mexicans are. And, oh, my God, they're putting black people together. This is amazing. I think if you just – listen, WWE, you have a sexist and racist problem. I've said this before. You know how you get rid of your sexist and racist problem? Overnight. The best wrestler who connects with the crowd should get pushed and be champion. Boom, problem solved. I want to live in a day when Mark Henry and the New Day team up against Mark Henry and the Primetime Players team against the New Day, and people are talking about the match. And hopefully we get to that. Boom's next match.
Next, well, speaking of black guys, we had R-Truth take on King.
Worst transition ever. By the way, Boo-Boo, that's not a soundbite. That's not a soundbite transition that you want fucking people to. All right, go on.
Oh, okay, that transition needed a little work here, but R-Truth taking on King Barrett. Apparently, I refer to this as booking necromancy because some feuds apparently should never die. These two have been wrestling for like past month and a half nonstop now. Barrett got the early advantage on R-Truth. R-Truth came back, hit him with a lie detector, got the win. It was like a 3-minute match, and then went up under the ring, pulled out the shower curtain for his robe, put on the messed up Burger King crown, and walked out with a plunger. And I have no idea where the hell this is going.
Boom, boom. First off, you do not respect this match as much as you should. You obviously did not watch FWL. By the way, this year's care package better be better. We've been messing up FWL in a couple of the online games, so we decided to do the Zeppelin rule. And the first singles match, one-on-one with males in WWE, was going to win the title this week. And R-Truth got that. R-Truth is officially the KocoSports Internet Champion. So way to go, R-Truth. This feud was awesome for 3 weeks. We're on week 967. You know what I mean? Like, it was like, oh, that was kind of a cute feud. Why is it still going on? Both guys deserve more. And
what is it about WWE and just running feuds into the ground? I mean, they're running the feud between, R-Truth and King Barrett, Dean Ambrose and Bray Wyatt. Dolph Ziggler and Rusev. They keep running all these feuds into the ground.
Yeah. All right, Booms. Let's go to the next one. So congratulations, R-Truth. You are the KocoSports Internet Champion. Never saw that one coming.
All right. Next here, this was a setup for the U.S. Title Open Challenge featuring John Cena. Rusev came out with some array. He was interrupted by Kevin Owens, saying that no, he was going to get it. He was going to win. He was going to beat John Cena. And then Nope Cesaro came out, obviously a week after their match that tore down the house last week on Raw. So Cena got out of the ring and just basically this made it a 3-way #1 contenders match for the United States title. And if you have not seen this match, I would encourage you just to watch Raw for this match. This was match of the night. It did not feel like a WWE match. It felt like almost like an indie match. It felt almost like Ring of Honor. It's what it really felt like. I mean, they were doing all kinds of crazy spots. There was a triple suplex. There was a spot off the top rope. Kevin Owens, Cesaro, Rusev really surprised me, Dave. Just Rusev, how fast he was moving, how he could hang in there.
I thought it was a great night for Rusev. First off, he came out with his real country flag. I believe that's his real country flag. Yeah, and second is this by far match of the night. By far match of the night. Not even close. And I think Rusev held his own in the ring. Owens and Cesaro. The only negative about this match is like Owens quits halfway through. It's just like, all right, we get it. You're a heel. Like, there's this fine line, WWE, of being a good heel and just being a stupid fucking cowardly heel. And you cross that. I thought, like, what? Why would Owens just? All right. And not only that, but if you're gonna do a cowardly heel thing, don't do it in the middle of the match. It's an insult to the fucking.
Dave, going back to the match, let me ask you this: Did it not feel like an indie match to you? I mean, did it not seem like an indie match?
I think it felt like a pro wrestling match. I thought it felt like a fucking match. Like, oh wow, they give a shit about pro wrestling. Yeah, I don't know about indie because I think
I just meant like, just something not I should clarify that not typical WWE style matches is probably the better way I should phrase that.
No problem. Yeah, I thought it was amazing, and not only that, but I thought Rusev character. I thought it was a good night for Rusev.
Oh yeah, Rusev. I mean, dude, hats off to Rusev. I mean, really. I mean, this is this is the best match I've seen him in.
And I think if you did this prior, you said, "Oh, can Rusev hold his own against Owens and Cesaro?" You'd get that. I don't know. You know what I mean? You get one of those reactions. I think he held his own, and great night for Rusev. This is one of those you might want to turn off commentary. John Cena is on commentary. Oh my God, man! Hide your weaknesses, brother. Hide your weaknesses. John Cena is absolutely horrible. But yeah, besides John Cena being horrible and Kevin Owens just, I'm a heel, so I gotta be a coward for no reason.
Well, after Owens walked out, it was just even though technically it was still a triple threat match, Cesaro and Rusev went one-on-one. Cesaro had a beautiful suplex on Rusev. I mean, the guy's like over 300 pounds, and Cesaro got him all the way up, held him, and dropped him down with a nice suplex. Ultimately, Rusev had the last laugh, got the win. And then this is something I didn't like. They immediately had the United States title match. You know, Rusev was blown up. He went I think he went over 20 minutes in this match against two other men. Well, for a while, two men, then just one. He was completely blown up. And then here comes John Cena stepping. I was like, to me, this is more of a heel move. You know, it's just, oh, well, you're going to have to fight over the chance to face me. Well, the match is over. Oh, guess it starts now. I understand, and I'm going to get to where they were going with this in just a second, but to me, just that on the surface seems more like a heel move. Well, anyway, they start having – in the match, I was like, okay, Rusev probably doesn't have much. No, Rusev still kept going. I think he had a pretty good match, even though he was just exhausted from the triple threat match.
And he did a great job of telling the story and selling.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I like when it looked like they were getting when Cena was picking him up, Rusev reversed it, put him in the accolade, and it looked like Cena was going to tap. And then, okay, you know what happens, kids. Kevin Owens comes out, breaks up the submission hold. Referee throws out the match, disqualification. John Cena retains the United States title. So even with that going in, okay, that's the reason why they did it. But I honestly think if they could have done maybe the exact same thing had they done that later, because to me that just seems more of a heel move, a cowardly move to, you know, beat up the challenger while he's down.
You know, I insulted John Cena. I insulted John Cena first commentary. I throw Cena under the bus. But you know what? I'm going to give you a Corso. Not so fast, my fellow friend. John Cena, to me, helped get Rusev over. You know, what, are people going to boo John Cena more? It just seems like he did the right thing for a little bit. So, yeah. So, I don't know. I enjoyed it. I thought it told a great story. And at the end of the night, the stock rose. And I'm okay with this story. I know it's a heel move, but John Cena gets booed and he's a heel anyway. At least he's doing something to help get over. And he still wrestled. And, you know, it's funny because if you actually look at the story, Rusev's always been the face. Like, if you write this story down and don't have crowd reaction and don't have piped-in crowd noise and don't have history and hand in that story, Rusev's the good guy in the story. Think about it. I know a lot of times like, USA, yeah! But take away the patriotism, take away everything. Read the story. Rusev's the good guy. He's always been the good guy. It's just, you know, you have to root for John Cena in USA. It's like your DNA or something. I don't know. But even though it was a heel move, fuck it. John Cena's a heel. Let's be completely honest. And not only that, but he's been handed everything. So for the first time ever, he was handed something in kayfabe world. And I'm like, you know what? This feels right.
Dave, I gotta ask you a question here.
All right.
Is the U.S. title being protected and reserved because WWE wants to kind of build up some of these lower card guys, or is the U.S. title being, you know, being presented as so prestigious and protected because John Cena holds it?
I think it's a little bit of both, to be honest. I honestly think it's a little bit of both. Jason Rex on Facebook. This is just something I comment that kind of fits in with this. Is it just me, or is it rather flipping stupid that they keep having an open challenge for the title when you're building up a major match for the title at the next pay-per-view? And I kind of agree with that. You can't have an open challenge and then be like, well, on pay-per-view, there's going to be a major match, because it takes away from the open challenge. So, Punky.
That makes sense. So, all right, and then here's another question. This is Factor Fiction time.
All right.
Factor Fiction, Coco.
Yeah.
Cesaro will get a WWE World Heavyweight title shot before the end of 2015.
I'm going to say fact, but it's going to be on a lower-end pay-per-view.
Because apparently now Vince McMahon.
I have no idea. Vince should love him. He's tall, he's strong, he's good-looking.
Well, it's funny you should mention that, because apparently Vince McMahon just now discovered that the Cesaro kid is kind of catching on, that people tend to like him and they cheer for him.
Yeah. Well, the crazy part is I was listing off everything Vince would love about him, but then I said he can wrestle. I honestly think Vince hates him because he can wrestle.
Mm-hmm.
I
think it's kind of sad. I mean, he's been good since day one, but instead WWE has made him, let's see, the insincere United States champion. They stuck him in a dead-end tag team with Jack Swagger. Right now, things unfortunately didn't work out with Tyson Kidd. Get well soon, by the way, buddy. They put him with they had that damn yodeling gimmick, and it's just like, no, just let him go out there and wrestle. And Vince sees him wrestle, and it's like, you look. I mean, how many years have you set this guy's career back just because you didn't fucking get it?
Yep. And it's just being out of touch. It's over. And that's the thing. I think the reason I hate Vince McMahon more, like if Vince ran his company and he had a legit competition where people could leave, I don't think I would hate Vince McMahon as much. But you have a monopoly, and then you're like, oh, I'm going to fucking ruin people's careers because I have the power to. Remember Uncle Ben? With great power comes great responsibility. Hopefully Triple H with that power changes it, but only time will tell. Next.
Before we move on, and this is the only place I could work this in, because of Rusev and everything. PW Insider is reporting that Dolph Ziggler has re-signed with WWE. The details of the contract, at least I haven't seen them yet, but the word is right now Dolph Ziggler has re-signed with WWE, so it's looking like they're going to get the feud back on track, and we could see a match by, I'm thinking, as early as SummerSlam.
Hopefully in that contract you fucking signed, can I at least be on the card of how talented I am? Because let's be completely honest, if you went off talent alone, Cesaro and Ziggler would be your main eventers. If you went off legit talent. Without a doubt.
I mean, nobody, okay, let me tell you something. Nobody, and I mean nobody in the WWE is going to outwork or out-hustle Dolph Ziggler. That's a fact, Jack.
So hopefully in the future it will be good. All right, Booms, let's go to the next match and then the last segment, and then we'll do live comments and wrap this bad boy up.
Next, now this one's a little controversial, and I'll get to why in a second. But on the surface, it was fine. Stardust versus Neville. Of course, this is Stardust's his first match back since his father passed away last month. The match itself was just kind of like a short match. They wrestled back and forth, but eventually Stardust got the win with a roll up and a handful of tights. Dave, have you read like the comments that Cody Rhodes' wife made online?
No. What'd she say? But when it comes to the Rhodes family, especially Cody, they always just say crazy ass shit.
Well, I think a lot of people were upset that, Cody Rhodes came out as Stardust. They were wanting, I guess she was criticizing some people for wanting him to come out as Cody Rhodes and kind of uses, I hate to put it this way, but this is the way she put it, so I'm quoting her. to use his dad's death as a springboard for his career. And she said that, he's not going to do that. He's going to pick himself up and keep going. And then apparently she was also upset about fans outside the arena, asking for autographs, telling, hey, come over here, sign some autographs. We pay your bills, kind of deal. So
I would fire her. She doesn't know how to be a celebrity. Like, this is the thing. We live in a generation where, like, you care about PG and PR and all that shit. If you can't make fun of John Cena, but you could say that, that's crazy. That's insane. The WWE has fucking quadruple standards, but you know why it's okay? Because she's making fun of fans. If change that quote and make fun of Cena or Stephanie, she's fired. If I ran WWE, I don't even give a fuck. I'd be like, yeah, listen, Cody, you got a job. But even Cody runs his fucking mouth. Listen. First off, I would fire you. I would just fucking fire you. I'm done. I'm done with your shit. I wouldn't even fire Cody for this, to be honest with you. I would definitely fire her. She would not be on the roster anymore. It's like, why? Why? And then second off, let's break down the comment. Let's fucking take off our PG gloves. Bitch, he wouldn't have a career. I love Stardust. I love Cody Rhodes. I root for him. He would not have a career if it wasn't for Dusty Rhodes. He wouldn't have made it through NXT. He wouldn't have made it through FCW. Cody Rhodes, Stardust, huge fan. Let's be completely honest. Would not have a job. Fucking Cody ran his fucking mouth like a goddamn scumbag to Colt Cabana. The fuck you. Fuck you. You come out of a different penis. You have a different goddamn career, and your fucking whore of a wife ain't fucking on your side. So, hey, you want to shoot her? Let's be completely fucking honest. I'm sorry that we respect your dad as a fucking legend, but here, let's call it a fucking spade here. You ready? Ready? Here it is. Here's the fucking moment of truth. They're right. They're right. You wouldn't have a career if you did not come out of Dusty Rhodes' penis. You wouldn't be good enough to make Ring of Honor. Let's just fucking be honest. You are one of the best actors, one of the best performers, one of the best superstars. But the reality is, you are embarrassed of your fucking father. And that's the fucking reality of it. Now, do I agree with some of the shit she says? Yeah, I agree. But I'd still fire you for saying it. If Cesaro can't go on a goddamn radio show and say, oh, who wants to see Cena and Orton without being punished? How can this bitch say this without being punished? How? And just, why not start us? Why not just take the goddamn high road? Why don't you fucking... Ain't she an announcer? Ain't she a fucking announcer? How about following those goddamn rules? How about fucking taking the high road on this one and be like, yeah, thank you, we understand, and we love the fact that, of my fucking father-in-law, but, Stardust is his own thing, he wants to become his own man, and why not be classy about it?
Oh, yeah, you should definitely be classy.
You have no fucking class because your husband wouldn't have a fucking job if it wasn't for his fucking dad, and deep down inside that bothers you, and you wouldn't have a job if you weren't sucking his dick. That's it. I love these controversial fucking statements. Now listen, next person who says John Cena and Randy Orton shouldn't be in the main event and gets punished, fucking, you gotta look at this. So no. And granted, maybe this is how she really feels. But if that's how you really feel, you're a cunt. Bottom line. If you can shoot, let's shoot. You wouldn't have a job if it wasn't for Dusty, and he wouldn't have a job if it wasn't for Dusty. So how about you show some fucking goddamn respect? And Dusty wouldn't be the legend he was if it wasn't for the fans. Now, are some of the fans disrespectful? Yes.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Without a doubt. But here's the thing, sweetheart. You're a celebrity. You don't think Britney Spears gets disrespected? You don't think Jack Nicholson gets disrespected? Tom Hanks? Fucking Kobe Bryant? Bitch, you're a celebrity. You know how you don't get disrespected? Stay at home. Stop being a goddamn celebrity. Now, do some fans take it too far? Oh, without a doubt. Did I take it a bit far? Oh, maybe. But someone has to fucking speak the truth to you. And if it wasn't for Dusty Rhodes' penis, you wouldn't have a job, and you wouldn't have been a celebrity. So why don't you take some advice from the fucking leaked documents and do yourself a favor and take the goddamn high road. Take the fucking high road. And this is why I fucking can't get behind Cody Rhodes. Because not only is Cody Rhodes a cunt, he's married to a cunt. It's fucking cunt mania in that goddamn household. Let's talk about the good things.
Looking at it, and I can kind of respect Cody for wanting to do the Stardust gimmick, but I just felt like it was awkward because he's a heel. And it's just people were like, should we chant Cody? But we don't want to really be a dick because, I mean, his dad just died. It was just kind of awkward. And I can at least respect the fact that, he was, okay, I want to stick with the Stardust character. I want to be my own guy. I don't want to just kind of live off my dad's coat. Because I think I want to go back to, like, 2006, like the exploitation of Eddie Guerrero. I don't want it to be anything like that. And I could respect him for that. But WWE has a bad track record. At least
but then don't take the job. Well, why did you take the job? Oh, it's okay to be daddy's son fucking to get the job, but it's not okay to be daddy's son when he passes away? I'm calling cunt. Okay.
I mean, then that's fine. And it's just, but I just don't feel, I feel like if you're going to keep him with the Stardust character, you need to go all in with him. And I don't feel like WWE is willing to do that. I mean, yeah, they're going to keep him on the roster. Yeah, they're going to have him do matches. But as far as doing anything memorable or meaningful, I don't think so.
Yeah, it's just, listen, Cody, we're giving you the Ryback treatment. Cunt and cunt fucking, I'm sorry, let me call you by your birth name. Mr. Cunt and Mrs. Cunt, listen, we want to like you. Step away from Twitter. Just step away. Ryback did it. Listen. When you're going to tweet something, say to yourself, do I really want to say this out loud? Because a lot of times people forget that social media is real. Do I really want to say this out loud? And think, would I say that to their face? Yeah. Cody, if I ever meet you, I'll call you a cunt. I don't give a fuck. Sometimes people need to call you a cunt. But I want to love you, Cody. Just stay away from Twitter. Tell your fucking wife or whatever the fuck she is to stay away from Twitter. Now, is it hard being a celebrity? Yeah, without a doubt. But you can always stop. You know what I mean? You can always stop being a celebrity. But yeah. So, woohoo! Chris Archer in the game struck out a batter. Sweet, go Rays. All right, Booms. Let's talk about the good stuff. Man, you got me really riled up on that bullshit. Thank you for getting me riled up, sir. First off, one, I like how they did mention Dusty Rhodes, but then kind of still kept Stardust. I thought WWE handled it with class. That's when you know you're a cunt. When WWE handles something with class and you don't, that's when you know you're a cunt. I feel like I'm starting to fucking become a cunt. Anyway, the thing that got everyone excited was the comic book graphics with Neville and Stardust. I thought that was
that was kind of cool.
A lot of people excited. I thought the match was really short. I wish it gave it more time, but I thought the finish was kind of good. A lot of people were complaining about the finish, but I enjoyed it because it just added to the Stardust character and protected Neville. But I enjoyed this match. I just wish it was given more time. And stay away from Twitter, you fucking douche. Booms?
No, I don't think it was a horrible match. You just didn't really have enough time to get anything done. It was just awkward because, I mean, I really don't – because I agree with the fans. I don't want to boo a guy whose dad just fucking died. But I want to see what they do with the character, where they go from here.
Yeah, but my whole thing is, like, is he really that big of a fucking heel? It's not like he's Kevin Owens. Like, he's kind of an entertaining heel. It's not like, oh, fucking, hey, fucking, he's Dusty Rhodes' son. It's not like, oh my God, Stardust's career has gone down. The fucking kayfabe zone is breaking. Like, I don't think it's even that big of an issue. I think WWE handled it perfectly. Dusty Rhodes' son, and hey, he's Stardust. That's it. Like,
right.
What you need help when WWE is handling public relations better than you are. You need help. But seriously, I'd fire his wife. I'd fire him in a heartbeat, just because that's your job. Like, this is how the meeting would go. Excuse me, Mrs. Cunt. I see you have a situation with our fans and you can't keep your fucking mouth shut. Well, here's problem solved. You're not part of the company. Let's see how many fans you have then. Good luck. Cody, do you have a problem with fucking 4 or 5 dudes at the end of the night fucking being rude? Oh, you do? Well, good luck to you in your future endeavors. It's just fucking insane. It's insane. I don't know. Like the NFL. I know WWE does this, NXT does this, FCW does this, so maybe Cody skipped this class. The NFL and WWE and NXT, do you know they have classes on how to become a celebrity? They teach
I did not know that.
how to become a celebrity. Obviously, daddy problems and fucking Mrs. Cunt did not take that fucking class. Booms! Let's talk about contract signings.
Yeah, everybody wrap your heads in duct tape because it's about to explode, baby. We got a contract signing.
We're going to pretend this worksheet about feelings. Feelings is my book contract. We're reenacting it. This is a pen. Ladies and gentlemen, signing my reenactment. Signing my contract right now for the ratings because you love contract signings. My book contract. Oh, when is the book coming out? Never? Sounds like a fucking legit contract. No. This week I signed I regret it, but I signed a book contract, and I should have signed it on air. Last week I did it, but I could have made a big deal about it. I could have had a hammer under the table. You know what? I definitely did not sell out like a fucking whore for this YouTube channel. I should have. I should have went all crazy with a contract signing. I really fucked up. I fucked up on this one. You know, sometimes ideas in your head are amazing, and then you come out and Stephanie McMahon ruins it by fucking introducing Charlotte. All right, let's talk about this contract signing quickly as fucking possible.
Hi, I'm the challenger, Brock Lesnar. I'm going to beat you up. Hi, I'm the champion, Seth Rollins. I'm going to beat you because I'm awesome. Okay, I hope you don't try anything shifty. Hey, here's an axe handle. Oh, you shouldn't have done that. You provoked me. Now I'm going to beat you up. Oh, no, the table gets flipped. Oh, no. Okay, quick, let's beat up on Brock Lesnar. Yeah, we got the advantage. Haha, you can't beat me. I'm a former UFC champion. There, I'm fighting back. Oh, now I'm going to hurt you, Kane, because you tried to jump me from behind. Oh, no, you've crushed my ankle. Ow, ow. Oh, no, I got to run. Brock Lesnar's going batshit crazy. Okay, Brock Lesnar's gone. Oh, fuck, that was a close call. This is on you, Kane. How dare you? How dare you let a contract signing, a goddamn contract signing breaks out into chaos. This has never happened before. Totally unprecedented. Shame on you, sir. You're on your own. I'm going to kick you because I'm angry at you. The end. Did I do that right, Dave? Did I pretty much just sum that up?
You did it a million times better than I would have. A trillion times better. Contracts on fuck you. And this is why it's a loss. They had one really decent match. And on top of that, the contract signing. Let's go to live comments and wrap this bad boy up.
Rapid fire, baby. Rapid fire.
All right. I think Bullet Club Biggs on Google Plus says, I think John Cena is good, not great wrestler. I may be in the minority, but he's not as bad as some make him out to be. You should get rid of the springboard stunner and a top rope leg drop because he could break an opponent's neck or bust his tailbone. Yeah. Let's see. I give John Cena a 4.5. Out of 10. I think he's just below average, and every now and then he puts on a good match. But he's pretty fucking horrible, and he's handed everything. And I think that's what hurts him even more. You know, he has mid-card talent, but he's pushed to the moon. And sorry about sneezing on you. All right, let's refresh. 18-1, baby. 18-1. Not too bad. I think we could get a good title shot around the world. All right. All right. Whoa. All right. Let's see where we're going. I'm starting to get sick. Comment time. I must be allergic to comment time. Let's see. Total Nonstop Action says, enjoyed the short-ass Stardust and Neville match along with the triple threat, so I give it a super weak tie. And then he goes, you know what? He changes his mind. Next comment. Fuck that. 3-hour show with 2 matches I enjoyed. Loss. Trash. Shout out to Blitz. And he's talking about Bruce Blitz. Mr. Jason 916, please WWE make Cesaro the IC belt champion. That wouldn't be too bad. I mean, but I don't know. I don't mind Ryback as champion. It just Ryback's in a bad feud. LB Clash of Kings breaking news. Sonny has been arrested again. Is that really breaking news, or is that just like a news?
I was about to say she'll do news. She'll like show her boobs on Skype for like $10, I think.
Yeah, times are tough. Danny Allmark. I think we should pray to the wrestling god Terry Funk for WWE writers to do a good story and stick with them and be awesome. It can be done. That's all I dream about. Dennison says, a lot of Nikki Bella marks made excuses for how good she is. Everybody's now talking about how great the Diva segment was with the NXT woman. Now that's good wrestling. Now do you see how much the Bellas suck? I don't know. I think there's fans that are just going. I think there are a lot of, especially when it comes to Nikki Bella and John Cena, I think there's a lot of legit fans. But I think a majority of the fans are people that hate us. Like, oh, pro wrestling fans, oh, internet fans, oh, all they do is complain. I think, like, it's kind of like, well, if Daddy doesn't like that guy with pink hair, that's who I'm going to date. It took women from developmental to make a Diva segment exciting. Yeah, and the fans were into it. Crazy.
Oh, yeah, and I'll say props to the Atlanta fan base because I was worried that they may not know who they are, but they seemed to know who everyone was, and they cared about them. So I was happy about that. And by the way, I honestly think, Dave, that the only reason Bayley wasn't there that night is because she's got a broken hand.
Maybe, but they also have to have someone hold down the women's division in NXT. Alicia Fox has teamed up with the Bellas so they could have a good wrestler on their team. The Bellas did an interview where they said Alicia Fox makes them look good in the ring. We all know whatever they asked for, they get. Was it rumored they begged Vince to bring up the NXT women? Yeah, but I think it's one of those, I need good opponents, so I'm just bringing them up to have them wrestle me. Like, I really think she's John Cena with a vagina, but then I'm just repeating myself.
Well, plus, plus it makes business sense. I mean, how many times can you watch the same girls wrestle each other? I mean, it's just, it was completely boring at this point. At least this puts a little bit more energy in the Divas division.
Total Nonstop Action says, gotta love when WWE tries TNA's Tower of Doom moves. LOL, it just doesn't look right. Yeah, TNA does those.
No, the Tower of Doom they did look pretty good. At least in my opinion, it did.
Yeah. LB Clash of Kings, fact or fiction? All right, he's got 10 of them. You ready?
All right.
One or both Bellas will have another nip slip before the end of 2015.
Fiction.
I'm going to say fact for the sake of fucking I want to see a nip slip. Stardust will wrestle the actor from Arrow TV show at SummerSlam. I say fact.
Stephen Amell and fact, baby.
Yeah. I want to, you know what? When it comes to Arrow versus Stardust, I love Arrow and I love Stardust as long as you stay away from Twitter. But I honestly think that is going to be the greatest thing ever, or RoboCop saving Sting. Like, I don't think there's no middle ground on this one. I think it's intrigued me enough to watch, but I don't know if it's going to be good or absolutely horrible. But I'm going to say fact. WWE 2K16 will actually live up to the hype this year, unlike last year's game. I didn't buy last year's game, so I wouldn't know. I'm going to say fact. I mean, 2K is getting in their groove. It's a major selling point. I think they're just going to keep improving. When it comes to sport video games, unless you're EA Sports and NHL, most games improve every single year. No one goes, oh, well, last year's was better. Unless, of course, you're EA Sports and NHL. But, it's going to be on more powerful systems. I'm saying fact. Boom, you got
I really don't play video games, but because I watch all the games get played on another YouTube channel by some fat white guy from Jersey.
Called Coco Plays. Like, comment, subscribe.
Yeah, so I guess fact. I have no idea.
Tough Enough winners, both guy and girl, that one or both will be released before actually having a run on the main roster. I think that's fact, and I think even USA knows that.
Yeah,
I don't know. They might make it.
No. Wait a minute. I think they'll have a run. It'll be a short run, but they'll have a run. So I'll say fiction, just because now will it work out? No, I don't think it'll work out because they've never worked out. So, but will they have like a short run? Yeah, it'll be like. But remember, like the first person who ever won Tough Enough was Maven, and I think
track record wise, you're way better losing Tough Enough. The Tough Enough losers have way better careers than winners do.
The only one that really panned out was John Hennigan. He became Johnny Nitro. That was the only one that really panned out. The last one they had, I think, was Andy Levine. I think he was only on the roster for about 3 months before he flunked a drug test.
Yeah. Sasha Banks will beat Nikki Bella for the Divas title to unify the NXT titles with the Divas title to bring back WWE's Women's title with the new updated look.
Fiction.
I pray to Funk that's a fact. I pray to Funk every night before I go
because
to bed.
What do you – okay, so that happens. Well, what do you have on NXT now?
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense to do that.
Boom, you're right, but a boy needs to dream.
I know what you'll be dreaming about tonight.
Brock Lesnar will have another world title where he will not defend the belt for months.
I pray to
What's that?
God, I pray to God fiction.
I'm going to say fiction, but I'm not praying to Funk about this one. I just think there's too much that has to be done with Seth Rollins first. But I don't know. I don't mind long title runs, and I don't mind. I mean, I think if Brock Lesnar shows up twice, once on pay-per-view and once to squash someone, like I think the only thing that's missing from Brock Lesnar, in my opinion, and different people might argue, I think Brock Lesnar needs to squash random fucking people on a Monday Night Raw every now and then. I think you add that and then have him show up to pay-per-views, but then he doesn't show up on every pay-per-view. I don't know. I say fiction just because they have to do a lot more with Seth Rollins. Roman Reigns will finally change his Shield theme song. I don't know. I think fact. I think he has to become his own man. We'll see another lesbian kiss scene on any company before the end of 2015. Any company, definitely.
Any company? Oh, any company. Yeah. I mean, does that include like indies? I mean, because then you could probably go fact. But okay, move along.
Mickie James will make history and become the first 10-time women's champion in history before she retires. Currently, right now, Mickie is a 9-time champ.
Fact.
I'm going to say fact, but I don't know if she deserves it. Not she deserves her 9 women's champions. I don't know if she deserves the 10th one. That's what I mean. I don't want to become a Mickie James hater. Lana and Eva Marie will eventually be new faces of WWE's division.
Fiction.
Yeah. I think they'll have big roles, but I don't think they'll be the face.
Yeah, and by the way, Dave, I know this is going to sound crazy, but I actually want to see Ava Marie wrestle because I've been hearing she's been doing a lot of training with Brian Kendrick. They released it was like a short video. It was like a 30-second video of them working a sequence. That looked pretty good. So I just want to be like, okay, you know what? You got tired of people, saying that you suck, so you busted your ass. Let's see if it's paid off. Go out there and wrestle. Let me see.
Yeah. Player dies. I liked Rusev winning the triple threat and basically beating Cena. I didn't like the triple threat match. The match didn't have any flow. It was a spot fest. I guess that just depends on the style of wrestling you like. There was at least 6 super kicks during the match before the finisher, and the finisher of a match was a super kick. It was a clusterfuck in my opinion. I didn't hate it, and it didn't connect with me. I guess it just depends on what type of wrestling you want. You know what I mean? I think this is more of a style situation. I thought it was match of the night. I mean, there's no match that came close to it, and I don't know. LB Clash of Kings. PW Insider said Dolph signed a new contract a few weeks ago, so I didn't know if to believe them. Maybe. We'll see. If Dolph keeps showing up, he signed a new contract. I wish WWE treated it more like sports and made announcements about that stuff. But I guess the problem with that is if you always made announcements, like to be devil's advocate to my own statement, if you always made announcements, maybe it wouldn't be a good idea. You know what I mean? Because then if you don't make announcements, people are like, oh, he's leaving. Plus, you don't get the surprise of the Royal Rumble and all that. Goro, just got around to watching it, and that may just be the best Raw of the year, in my opinion. Some really great matches put on. The Divas division is finally back on track. Also, I'm now fully convinced Cesaro is the best wrestler on the entire roster. Yeah, I think there's a torch being passed. I could kind of agree with that. I like Ziggler a lot, but the thing is, if the company's not behind you and you're in shitty gimmicks, someone can surpass you, and I think Cesaro. I got a lot of heel heat for saying Ziggler was the best in the company, and people said Cesaro. But I think, yeah. Flair dies. Ziggler needs a heel turn so bad. It's not even funny. Him as a face is so bad. He's average on the mic at best. Give him a manager and turn him heel. Yeah, I don't know. I think he'd be a better heel than a face. But I think he just needs a better storyline. You know what I mean? That storyline is really bad. Player dies. I don't like people getting mad at WWE for not bringing back Stardust as Cody because they're not capitalizing on his father's death, but in the same breath bash him for exploiting Eddie's death. With that being said, I wish he was Cody. You know what? I actually don't think it's that big a deal, and I think having it on Twitter, that's why I would fire her. Because I don't think it's as big of a deal as she thinks it is. Like, it would be cool if he came back as Cody Rhodes, and I'd like him as Cody Rhodes, but, like, I wouldn't bother tweeting about it. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's the reason I would fire her. She brought anger and heat to a situation that probably doesn't warrant it. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I don't mind him as Stardust. I wish he'd come back as Cody, but, yeah, as far as exploiting people's death, I don't think pushing someone's exploiting someone's death. I think like selling, I don't know. That's a tough call. I guess that's a fine line. That's a good point. But I didn't mind Rey Mysterio winning. I did mind why didn't Chavo get that shot? I think that's more bothersome to me. I don't know. Some people are really angry about that. I'm not. It's just. Because they used to have matches and title runs for stuff like that all the time in wrestling. It's just like a sign of respect, I guess. So I guess it doesn't bother me. But yeah, I like him as both. I think the Rhodes family are great actors. Let's see. Lennox Wooderson says win. Skip the first hour. It's probably the best Raw for the rest of the year. I hated 4 things that, if changed, could have made it a perfect for me. Randy, Ryback, Big Show, and Sheamus being in a match was torture, but we got out of it way quickly. Stephanie was a glory hug and a bit of a racist in this segment. The NXT women should have been with Paige or have Paige team with Naomi and Tamina or Natty against the NXT women against the Bella Whores. You don't segregate them by race. That's segregation and kind of racist. Yeah, WWE. I wish you could defend it, but you can't. You know what I mean? Cena should have made it a fatal 4-way, or Cena could have. I think Cena should have made it a fatal 4-way, but I think the way they booked it, they really helped Rusev out. I think Rusev gained so much, and I throw John Cena under the bus. Probably more than I don't know more than I should, but more than the average fucking reviewer does. But at the same time, I think Rusev leaves the show looking a lot stronger than when he entered. Cena could have shown some for Rusev. Sorry, I'm fucking glasses. Rusev came out looking like Cesaro or Neville when they took Cena to the limit. Yeah. All right, I apologize. Instead of awkwardly re-debuting Stardust and having him beat a young guy who needs a win, how about WWE brings back Cody as Cody, but the death of his father makes him slowly lose his mind? Oh, man, so many people. That's a great storyline that so many people would get offended by. That's a great storyline, but you're walking on eggshells, and I don't know, man. But yeah. I wouldn't do that. Locations like a wedding or funeral, then he starts dressing up like Stardust at home, and out in everyday life, he could devolve from Cody into Stardust, and WWE gets their goofy character, and Cody gets a push. I find it to be interesting, but I don't think the rest of the world would. I think people would, and all that, but that's a hard story to pitch. Can you, I know I was pretty hard on Cody and his wife earlier, but that's a hard story to pitch someone. And I've pitched some really difficult storylines that wrestlers have turned down. But even me, I'm like, that's a bit of a, but yeah, I find it intriguing, and I think maybe on a television show that would work, but I don't know about pro wrestling. Plus, people are really sensitive these days. Player Die says, who cares how he got his job? If he can wrestle and act, I could literally give a shit. Cody's a great performer. Cody is a great performer, but here's the thing. It does matter. It does matter, and it matters how you hold yourself and talk to yourself. And, it goes back to The Great Gatsby. You have to fucking realize that in life you were given breaks. You were given breaks, and you should just fucking accept it. It does matter. There's a huge difference between a John Cena and a Cody Rhodes compared to a Kevin Owens or a CM Punk or a Daniel Bryan. No, there's a huge, huge difference. And, maybe it's because you're just a fan, but you have to bring it back in real life. Let's maybe say WWE is a car dealership. All right, yeah, fucking, you're surrounded by assholes that married into the business or their dad got them the job, and no matter how hard you work, you're never going to make as much money as them, and then they're the only guys that you can make a living in your profession? No, it does matter. It matters a lot. And not only that, but it also matters like how you say it. You know what I mean? It's just, no, you have to realize people have taken different paths, and how you got there does matter. And I don't know how old Player Dies is, but once you get in the real world and you realize there's real life John Cena's and there's real life Cody Rhodes. And yeah, I have no problem. Obviously, if I had a father who, helped me along the way, I'd be grateful. No one is self-made. But with that said, you can't go to someone and be like, oh, well, it's just you have to realize you were handed shit. You have to realize that. And when you don't realize that, that's when you're an asshole. And especially considering there's a monopoly. At least in the car dealership, you're like, okay, well, Triple H married into the boss, and Cody was born into the business. I'm here selling these cars, and no matter how good I am, I can never reach the top. Well, let me just go to Toyota down the street. Let me go to Honda. Well, in WWE, you just have TNA, and that's such a huge drop-off that's just shitty environment to work around. Now, I love Cody, and I think he's a great performer. But, no, you have to know how people have made it there, especially if you're a coworker, especially if you're a fan, especially if you're going to be outspoken. You know what I mean? You can't be like, I started from the bottom, now we're here. You didn't start from the bottom. You had a shot, and I think if someone helped you along the way, family, married into it, just me, you have to be humble. You have to be. You have to, you know what I mean? We live in a world where people are like, we're self-made, and it just doesn't exist. And it doesn't matter how he got there. Yes, it does. It matters tremendously. Now, maybe as a fan, okay, fuck it, Cody's an asshole. Fucking, he got it. He's good. He can hold his spot. But when you go and you insult Colt Cabana, you insult the fans, you know, how you got there matters. Read the first sentence in The Great Gatsby. That's a little homework assignment. It does matter how you got there, and that's the problem in life is people don't see it. There's so many people, and this is bad, and this is a flaw in my character. I'm self-employed 99% of my life. I started hustling when I was 8 years old. I've just always been a hustler, always beat my own drum. I have companies in China. I have companies in Russia. I have companies in Africa. I've just always hustled. I've been that. And this is a flaw on me, but it's a flaw. It's a flaw. I know it is. But if I meet someone and they say they're self-employed, they're an entrepreneur, and they took over a family business, I hold that against them. And maybe that makes me an asshole, but that's a strike because I know that you've had an advantage. I know, there's something way different, like The Rock. And The Rock's even a bad example. The Rock's fantasy story. Let's use The Rock's fantasy story. Let's pretend The Rock really didn't have connections, because this is where the fantasy story kind of goes up. But when The Rock's like, I only had $5 or $8, whatever is the studio's name, and I kicked down the door and became a success, and that's a great story. That's what people want. That's what matters. And no, how you get somewhere really does matter, especially if you're gonna fucking blame the fans and be a cunt about it and go after Colt Cabana. Because Colt Cabana did it on his own. Colt Cabana, and I think, as a man, we're leaving, as a man, if you are giving opportunities, you have to be humble about that shit. And it bothers me. I'm sorry. It might be a flaw in my character. I am Mikey. Mike Ashman says, highlights where the NXT Divas getting their shine, and Cesaro versus Owens versus Rusev. The future needs to start now. Vince, stop being fucking ignorant. Hopefully, yeah, right? So close to being good. I don't know, Booms, this is the closest in WWE that's been so close to being such a great product and still not. Hopefully the future is bright. Lennox Wooderson, wrestling and WWE need to stay away from Twitter. Wrestlers need to stay away from Twitter or only go to legal names and treat WWE like an actor would treat a movie studio. Be distant and act obvious because the line of kayfabe is too thin and the wrong things are always said. And this is a great point because he's mad that we're breaking kayfabe while he's breaking kayfabe. It's kind of like Ric Flair's fucking rant. It's just, you can't have it both ways. You can't be like, I fucking hate internet fans, but I work for Vince McMahon. I hate how the internet ruined the business. Because you stand for nothing. But yeah, I do find it kind of funny that he's bitching about kayfabe being broken while breaking kayfabe. I am Mikey. Mike Ashman says Cody Rhodes needs to return. Stardust has ran its course, in my opinion. I think it's disrespectful to the subjected a talented like Cody to be in like this jobber low mid card comedy gimmick. It is to the point where now major media outlets only know the homie as Stardust. Yeah, but I think that's just his thing. I don't know. I just let him decide that. If he wants to be Stardust, let him be Stardust. But yeah, I find it to be a little bit interesting. But I don't know. I think you could get a big WrestleMania SummerSlam thing with the Arrow. I think, and all that, but he's really showing his acting chops. I really think the Rhodes family should have been actors. Probably made a hell of a lot more money. Lennox Wooderson, Cesaro, Brodus Clay, and Damian Sandow all debuted the same year after WrestleMania. Brodus got the biggest push early that Sandow was buried for being talented, but Cesaro is just too good to be held down. Will Cesaro ever become a top guy that they consistently use? In my America, yes. No, I hope so. I pray to funk that's what happens. Where Ziggler and Lana missed on Raw. Well, Ziggler is selling an injury, and Lana must be by his side. Google screwed up YouTube says, bacon soda. I got bacon soda. Sorry I'm late, fellas. I actually made my debut earlier, but Natalia squashed me in 2 minutes. Thank goodness I have Stephanie to introduce me later that nobody cares. Nice. All right, Booms. I'm going to refresh, and then we're wrapping it up, all right?
Okay.
All right. Yeah. Oh, shit. We really got to wrap it up. All right. I'm going to go quickly as I can. Bullet Club Biggs. As axe handle, Seth could have borrowed Triple H's sledgehammer. That's true. Bullet Club Biggs. I just can't get past the fact that they used axe handles, no steel chairs, kendo sticks. Step up your weapon game. All right.
Pretty effective fucking weapon.
I apologize. All right, we're up to YouTube's. We're going to get the last couple comments, and then we're wrapping this bad boy up. We're 20-1, baby. 20-1. Let's see.
I can take over because I know where we're at. LB Clash of Kings. I dare KocoSports to have a contract signing. LOL, joking. Nope, we've already done that. Joshua Green. I think there's a connection with AJ wearing Bailey's shirt in her last match and Bailey not being called up last night. No, Bailey actually is recovering from a broken hand right now. She was out at a NXT event. Actually had the fans sign her cast. So So I think WWE sitting on a gold mine with Bailey. Plus, they're going to need somebody to hold down the women's division there. I'm thinking she's not going to be too far off. If they're already calling up Becky Lynch along with Charlotte and Sasha, Bailey can't be that far off. But no, I don't. Take your conspiracy cap off. I don't think that's the way it's going to be. Lennox Watterson. Cena is not a good wrestler, and here's why. It's way too long to be read, though. Okay, so we'll just have to read that on our own time, and we'll have to respond to it that way. Player Dies. I love Ryback as Intercontinental Champion, but I think they should rename it the Big Hoss Championship and have people like Ryback, Harper, Sheamus, etc. just go just a title for the big motherfuckers who can work. I really want a Sheamus Harper match so bad. I could just see some guys that beat the shit out of each other. So what you're saying is Player Dies is you're looking for something like the equivalent of New Japan's Never title. Okay, I like that.
I like the idea, but I'm a big old nerd. I like the idea of it being like the Never title, but I don't know if I would change the name just because I like the history. But WWE loves changing names on stuff, but I don't know. I like the idea. I just don't know if I would switch the title name just because I'm a history nerd. Go ahead, Booms.
Player Dies also gives us a list of people who he thinks should compete in that division. Will Beeman, what's up, Coco Crew? Really like the Cesaro Owens Rusev match. Fuck Cena. All right. LB Clash of Kings. Will Bray Wyatt ever be used and booked properly? Probably not. And it's safe to say that Eric Rowan and Luke Harper are about to be released soon since they're, I guess he seems not being used. I think I got a list of people who WWE are going to release this year. Like I said earlier, Eric Rowan's actually injured right now. From what I've heard, and take this with a grain of salt, this is just what I've heard. This is not the gospel here. I heard that they were trying to have Rowan and Harper use the 3D finishing maneuver and build up a feud to bring back like the Dudleys to have like a match at Mania. That's something I've heard. I don't know if that's true or not, so take that with a grain of salt. Will Beeman again. I went crazy for the NXT ladies. Fuck Cena. Noticing a theme here. Lennox Watterson. Can't wait to see Eva Maria Floppy get booed out of NXT because Paige was right about Eva finally decided to find quote-unquote passion. There are too many women on the indies and in developmental that would work for years to stand a chance while Eva gets paid six figures to tan and around, I guess, wrestle around with Spanky once a year. What kind of example is that for little girls? If you're letting your little girls, look to WWE divas for role models, I pity you. Well, no, wait a minute.
If you want a role model in combat sports, go Ronda Rousey.
Yeah, go Rousey. But as far as wrestler, I would say Bayley would be a good. That's somebody I think you could tell your girl to be like this. I think Bayley's a relatively positive role models for little girls. That's just my opinion. And I love Lena Fluxina. That's Will Beeman. Lennox Watterson. If WWE is successful, talking about UFC money, we would see as much nepotism or as many golden boys. Ooh, that's a good question.
Do you think? What was the question again? Repeat it for white trash me.
Okay, basically he's talking about it in terms of like UFC money, Dave. If WWE was successful, would we see as much nepotism or as many golden boys?
I don't know if it's success as much as competition. I think the golden boy era would end with success. I mean, not with success, with competition. Because I think Vince, and I apologize, I think Scott Hall, I don't know, an older wrestler said this, and I apologize for not misquoting. That one time they went to him and said, hey, Bret Hart's getting booed out of the building. And Vince said, I would rather have half the building leave and cheer for me than have a full crowd. I screwed up this quote, but basically Bret Hart, half the audience left. And
yeah, I think, Vince said something to the effect of, I would rather the building be half full and have them cheer for who I want than it be a packed house cheering for people that I don't want to push.
Yeah,
Something to that effect.
I apologize for screwing that up. Thank you for the save, Boom Boom.
Like always.
I think competition ends the Golden Boy era.
You know, that actually brings up another good question from Lennox Watterson. Can WWE get 100,000 at Mania without Ronda Rousey, Stone Cold, Undertaker, and Sting?
I think so, because
They could if they knew how to promote.
Rock. I mean, was the Rock on that list?
No, The Rock is not on this list.
Yeah. I mean, if you take away all their legends and stars, probably not. I mean, if it's John Cena, Randy Orton, no, you're not filling the Sting. I don't know.
But actually, Lennox, they're going to find out. They're going to find out sooner or later because we're going to get to a point where Steve Austin, Undertaker, Sting, Rock, a lot of those guys will not physically be able to go in there and wrestle. I mean,
well, I said this, and Boom's only got 9 more minutes. But I said this as far as comments go. I said this before. I want WrestleMania to be Vince McMahon's send-off. I want it to be everything he wants, all the old guys, break the attendance record, and then Vince gets a perfect send-off. And then after that WrestleMania, even advertise that at Vince McMahon's last WrestleMania. After that, he hands the reins over. Because I think the only way we get Vince McMahon going is he has to have a show his way, and it has to break some type of record. So, like, have Vince McMahon book everything, which, he kind of does, but, like, make it Vince McMahon spectacular. You know what I mean? Like, everything Vince wants in a WrestleMania, break the attendance record, and then just step aside, and have it as a lot of guys last. Have it as Sting, Undertaker, maybe Stone Cold, maybe The Rock. Have, like, those guys make it, like, the last hurrah.
All right. Let's see here. LB Clash of Kings. He's got some fact or fiction questions. So real quickly, Natalya will have another title run before her WWE career ends. I will say fact.
Yeah, fact. Just because it's because they pass it around a lot. Mm-hmm. I know, they had 2 long title runs, but still, it seems like everyone gets a shot at that title. Go ahead.
John Cena will retire from wrestling before Kevin Owens or Big Show. Fiction.
I think John Cena. I think John Cena has another 10 years in him. I really do.
I thought he had less than, but now the way he's been going, I think he's got at least another 10 years in him.
Well, at least he's trying now. I think this is the best John Cena's ever been. So
let's see here. SmackDown will be canceled within the next 3 to 5 years if the show stays the same way as it is right now. I say fiction because I don't think SmackDown's doing that bad. I think Sci-Fi likes it actually. That's what
I'm going to say fiction until there's like legit competition. I just think right now Vince McMahon, WWE and Nintendo are in the same boat. As long as they don't screw up too badly, they're going to be in business for 10 to 20 more years.
Will Beeman, he liked your Great Gatsby reference, Dave. Player Dice, he wants to know what kind of companies do you run in China and Africa? And I believe I know that. I think it's Funny Jester Hats and Hard Liquor.
No. Well, I own. I stepped down, so I guess I'm still the owner, but I don't run the day-to-day because of health problems. But I own media companies. I own internet companies, print shops, and translating companies. So those
in other words, he runs sweatshops. That's what he runs, sweatshops.
No, actually, I'm very anti that. I know, like, you're just making a joke, but stuff like Foxconn. If I could be serious for a moment, stuff like Foxconn really, really bothers me. My employees, I try to take care of them as best as I can. And I don't know. It's just, I know it's easy to make fun of sweatshops until you actually see the people in them. You know what I mean? So I know you were just trying to make a joke. I didn't mean to turn your joke in serious, but that's something that really, really bothers me about China.
Right. And here I am looking like an asshole. Thanks a lot, Dave.
You're like, I tried to make a joke, and then Dave turned it on me to make me look like an ass. But yeah. The Foxconn stuff bothers me beyond belief, and the working environment. It's something that really is close to home to me. But yeah, no, I would never do that. Never in a million. I'd rather be poor. It's just, that's horrible. It's a horrible way of living. You're like, yay, good way. Another comment. We got to pick this up. Make up a comment. My thoughts on flowers. I like them. Surprisingly. Got a garden out front.
All right, guys. We got 5 minutes left, so this will be the last comment of the night. If you got any questions after this, we apologize. We'll try to get to it later. We'll either try to answer it directly here on YouTube, or we'll have to do a Stump the Idiot. But last one goes to LB Clash of Kings. I think Hogan shouldn't wrestle anymore, especially at Mania. LB, I don't think you have to worry about anything. From what I understand, I don't think Hogan can pass the WWE physical, so I don't think you have to worry about that.
Yeah, but I'm sure he's going to bust his ass. And you know what? Have Hogan. Like, I know this sounds bad. I want WrestleMania to be Dallas, to be everyone's last hurrah. And then, like, the next Monday Night Raw, like, just – yeah, I'm being a little sarcastic. But, like, I want it to be Hogan's last show, Undertaker's last show, Sting's last show. And then the Monday Night Raw after, I want, like, to be a little curtain, and they peek out the curtain, and it's Cesaro and Ziggler, and be like, are they gone yet? And then, like, Tipper, and then there was just nothing but confetti in the ring. And then NXT and Ring of Honor and New Japan, and they're like, they're all gone. All right. That went a little crazy board, but
yes,
I'm hoping something like that happens. But I don't know.
All right.
Good.
Well, Dave, we're gonna have to end it there. I'm gonna tell everybody thanks for watching us and join us here at KocoSports.com. Of course, you can always follow us here on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. You can always find us at KocoSports.com. That's KocoSports.com. It's your home for all combat sports. That includes boxing, mixed martial arts, pro wrestling, amateur wrestling, sumo wrestling, taekwondo, kickboxing, judo. If you can get your nose broke doing it, man, we got you covered there on the site. Our news and gossip section is updated daily, along with our very popular video on demand section. And the best part about KocoSports.com is it's all absolutely, positively, 100% free. It's where the world goes to kick ass. So before I go, I want to say congratulations to Dave Coco on his publishing deal. So way to go, buddy.
Thank you. Thank you. Hopefully I can retire as a professional writer. But yeah, it's always been a dream of mine to write, and now we have a publishing deal. So, but I thank you for all the compliments about, like, you know, the comments I got about wanting to buy my book. But
yeah, trust me, you're gonna.
That's the easiest part. That's the easiest part. There's so many more steps, but we'll keep you informed and all that. And yeah. You know, you remember all those times I didn't ask you for money? I'm going to cash in on a book that you probably won't read. And trust me, it's pretty dark, so some of you might not want to read it. All right. And also, bigger than that, down the links below, Coco Plays. I'm playing a season as the Tampa Bay Rays. I put up an example episode earlier, but you already got 1 thumbs down. My Let's Play channel has more thumbs down.
So that answers the question. What do Tampa Bay fans do when they win the World Series? They turn off the Xbox and go to bed.
It hurts. It hurts so bad. It does hurt. But hey, anyway, and it'll be about anything. Like this, even though we bring any questions, I try to stay away from controversial stuff. Over there, I'm just going to have it where, like, ask me anything. Stump the Idiot. All right. Like, comment, subscribe. Boom, boom. I'll see you tomorrow for the War Room. And that's where we review ROH, TNA, Lucha Underground, and Impact Wrestling. Well, TNA fans are going to be angry with that one. And we try to review it all in one show. Hopefully it goes pretty good. I thought our first episode ever, the War Room, went pretty damn decent. But we're going to try to find people. If you are a YouTuber in pro wrestling and you want to help us join, that's the show. We're looking for guys to join in so that we can review the shows and rank them and all that. So it should be a lot of fun. It was Boom Boom's idea. And the first one went pretty smooth. Hopefully the second one does too. All right. Like, comment, subscribe. Oh, check out other YouTubers, not just Coco Plays, but Wrestling Rantin' and Geek Essentials and American a la carte. American a la carte, you got to change your name. It's like the guy who doesn't lie for views on YouTube. It's some of those words. But anyway, like, comment, subscribe. Thank you for being awesome. And I have to go. With that, I am over.